It's Friday, August 8th. Looks like it's supposed to be partly cloudy today, a little foggy up until 10, but no rain in the forecast. So I'm pretty sure I'll be climbing up that hill right there. I'll walk down the road to the trail and go southbound to my left. I'll start this morning's video like I finished last night. This is where I came off the trail, coming from Highway 311. And those steps right over there where I head up, it is 7:09 in the morning. And a 3/10 of a mile walk down here, which is a good warm up. To head on up to what's called the hardest section in Virginia, Dragon's Tooth. It's going to be, I understand, a couple miles of being pretty technical. So we'll see how it goes.
In a sitting, you know, maybe
Well,
we're
nice start, 10th of a mile in, and head down. I walk right into this, I guess, phone line, phone pole. I don't know, just bumped into us, kind of hanging low. Okay, I think this is what I have a lot of in store for me heading up to Dragon's Tooth. Bunch of rock climbing, and only significantly more difficult than this, and in some places much steeper. But either way, it'll be slow going. All right, a little bit over a mile in, 500 feet of elevation gain, nice view. And actually, down below is the hostel I'm staying in. It's the two buildings with the white roof on the right-hand side. Just down below it is the building I'm in. The one on the left is the chicken coop, and the one on the right is for overflow of hikers, where you can tent or a hammock inside there. So I walked down their driveway, went to the right, my right at that time, 3/10 of a mile, then up this hill. So I started my watch when I got to the beginning of the AT. So a lot of boulder climbing and scrambling, just a precursor of what's to come. Just thought I'd zoom in on that. There's the house and the fire pit. So anyway, that's where I'm staying. All right, I think it's time to put the trekking poles away, at least for this part. Looks like plenty of footholds, but I want my hands free. That's what makes this trail so freaking awesome. It's not incredibly hard, but not incredibly easy either. It's hard and not entirely safe, but keeps you focused in the present moment and intentional. Trail moves on. I'm only 1 1/3 miles into the trail. Well, I think I'm about halfway through Dragon's Tooth. And of course, when I reach, there's a sign on the trail that says, "Warning, next mile." I'll look for it when I leave. Is difficult, dangerous. I forget the exact words, but you know, just take caution. Of course, then it started raining, and today rain wasn't expected, so I didn't bring any rain gear or pack cover. Just a drizzle, and it already seems like it's letting up. So the rocks are good and slippery, so I'm being extra careful. All right, I think I'm 2/10 to a quarter mile away from reaching Dragon's Tooth, which is something separate. But this reminds me very much of that descent I had in Vermont, going northbound and coming down into Bennington. At the end of the day, after 18 miles, low on water, it was getting dark. Lamp was in my pack. I didn't want to stop. It was awful. I'm much more fresh for this. And it's going fine. Just taking it very slowly and carefully. All right. This is interesting. That wasn't bad. This one looks interesting. climb up. You can see a white blaze way up there on that big boulder in the middle. It's like someone's tried to do a workaround, but that looks more scary to me. Anyway, we stow my poles and give it a shot. It only took 2 minutes. I'm standing in front of that big boulder at the top with the white blaze in the middle. It would be a beautiful view if the fog would rise. That's okay. It's keeping the temperature down. Heavy exertion. This one just came up. Actually, if you take your time, keep your body weight leaning towards the rocks. There were some pretty decent grips that certainly made it much easier or doable for me.
Markets to U.S.
All right, just got up those sections. Can't really see them, and I'm not going to move around too much. That's cool rock. And made it up here. Now, I think I can see there's some like potential steps, stairs on the right. But I think I'm going to walk along this ridge. I found if I just keep my weight up against the rock, then I can usually find a foothold and keep going up. There are the infamous metal bars that help. I think I go up that rock right there. Okay, I'm glad I'm not going down. Came up that section, and then there was a hiker coming up behind me. Turned out a young girl named Skittles, who's flip-flopping, only has from here to Georgia to finish. And she just like, la-di-da, just go right through it. I'm taking my time. This goes on up here somewhere. I am near the top, I'm confident. Maybe up there at the top of that rock. Oh, okay. I am at the top. 1/10 of a mile to Dragon's Tooth, which I'm gonna just go some monolith structure. And then I'll continue on to the Pickle Branch to VA 620, 5.4 miles that way. I meant to say, when I was down there, Skittles went by me like I was standing still. That's because I was standing still, admiring the path that she selected versus the one I did. It looked easier, or smarter, not easier. Smarter means probably safer. But anyway, I made it. I think I did Dragon's Tooth. Actually, I enjoyed that a whole lot more than the ledges coming up from my Highway 42 before in the day shelter. Those were much harder to me. And the rain didn't really cause a problem here. On to Dragon Tooth. All right, I made it. Looked like a ride at a beach. Just need a little cabana and a beer. There's Dragon's Tooth. Got Skittles, met earlier, is halfway up on the other side. There's a little ledge you can sit on. I am not going to try that. But imagine this is very visible from the road, if you know where to look. And this is the path up that way, but no thanks. And there's another one. Well, it's pointy, but it's like a shooting the finger, actually. Well, I tell you what, I'm so glad I did that southbound. Mainly, I'm back on the AT now. It's out of the way. I did it. I felt good. It was manageable, for sure. It was hard, for sure. And could be unsafe. Here's my beautiful view out there. It's only about 9:15 in the morning, and I've got till 2 o'clock to get down, so that's 4.5 hours. I only go 5 miles, but I'll reach them at the shelter, see if they can pick me up early. What a climb. That was awesome. I feel energized doing that. Now, I don't know what's ahead of me. I'm told it's a reasonable downhill trail. But it's downhill for a lot of the distance, but nothing spectacularly difficult. We'll see. That was fun. All right, 4.5 miles into the hike, about, I think, 3.5 to 3.25, 3 3/4 miles to go. And I was just thinking about the heading into Dragon's Tooth this morning, I'm not gonna say I was anxious about it, but I was a little concerned that my knees would do. I did a long day yesterday, if my energy would be there, and couldn't decide to hike it north or south, but eventually decided to hike it southbound. I'm really glad I did, because instead of having a long buildup of uphill that is, you know, reasonable, you have a short one, and within 2.5 miles, you're already up and at it and starting down. So it was like a real burst of energy after I completed it. So maybe I was, I don't want to say building it up, because it was hard, but it was fun. Maybe that's a better way to say it. And I didn't look at it that way. I let that inner voice kind of build it up in a negative sense instead of having fun sense. But that's a combination of age and number of miles I've hiked in the last week and being tired in the day I had before. But boom, worked out. All right, came across one of these always important moments when you're heading north. This is mile 700 for northbounders, and of course 700 left to go for the southbounders. But it feels like every 100 miles is a huge accomplishment. Just a group of 4 people just went past, all in their 60s or higher, but one gentleman bringing up the rear had to be 80, 81. He was going slower, but it was a pretty steep downhill, but on their way up to, I guess, Dragon Tooth. I said, "You inspire me." So I should be able to keep doing this for years to go. Plenty of people do. All right, got a mile to the shelter, Pickle Branch, I think, and then 2 miles to the road where I'm gonna be picked up. I'll call them the Pickle Branch and, you know, let them know to pick me up. Set time is 2 o'clock. It'll be closer to 1 or 12:30. Anyway, as usual, beautiful trail. I think this is called Ledges. Just another photo opportunity. Oh, there goes my trekking pole. All right, and just the trail is right here, right back on down. All right, for the southbounders, 1,500 miles completed. So that'll, I'm about half a mile from the road while we picked up. Unfortunately, I had 2, 5, 7, 6 emergency responders walking up the trail. So it was a young girl. The only 2 young girls I've seen passed me. I don't think I would have missed one if she was hurt. Did know how far back. So anyway, they are rolling a stretcher. It's a regular stretcher, but it's got a giant wheel right in the middle, one wheel, big balloon tire that, you know, 2, one in front, one in back, were pulling and pushing. So they said, I talked to one of them. They're out here about once a month doing some rescues or, you know, helping an injured hiker.